It's muted?
Yes. No, your screen is not. All right, good enough. What up, everybody? It's the Sports Chasers podcast coming to you live and direct. It's currently 8 o'clock out in the east, 7 o'clock out, for my Central Standard Time folks, 6 o'clock for my Mountain Time, 5 o'clock for the West Coast folks. Yo, it's the Sports Chasers podcast coming to you live and direct. Here where we talk sports, nothing but sports, nothing but good things when it comes to sports. No narratives, no hot takes, no nonsense. Tonight is a special night. Yo, we're going to talk about the NFL Week 7 in review. We'll talk about that. MLB baseball, World Series is going on. The Dodgers are up 3 games to 2. Should be trying to close it out tonight. We go back to the NFL real quick. The NFL had a lot of good games. The Titans couldn't hang with the Steelers. The Steelers are 6-0. Kyler Murray and on the Sunday night, Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, they balled out. Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals get the win, man. But tonight, man, we got a special guest, man. I got my main man, Jean Fanor. But before we introduce him, let's introduce the fellas. Fellas, Mike Mills, what's up, brother? What's going on?
What's good, Kevin? How are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm just checking in, you know.
All right. My man. D-Dub, what's up?
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing out there? Yeah, man, doing good. Another week.
Let's get to it. The angry one, James Warren, my cousin. What's up, brother?
What's really good? What's going on with y'all, man? Fellas, how y'all doing, man?
Man, we're doing good. Last but not least, man, the district attorney, the one that got all the great questions, man. My brother Dorian, the DA. What's up, man?
Peace. Mike, you ain't shit, just so you know that, all right? Just so you know. I heard all that.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah.
The youngest versus the old, man. Mike is our youngest one in the crew, man. But, man, we're going to jump right into our show. Last but not least, and we got my man, Jean Fanor. Jean, say what's up to everybody on the Sports Chasers podcast, man.
What's going on, y'all? Happy to be on.
Oh, man, that's my man right there. Let me introduce Jean. And I told him not to be modest because he's a modest guy, really great guy. I'm going to just read here. Jean played high school football at North Miami Senior High. Continued his football career for the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats in Daytona. I can't talk tonight. In Daytona Beach, Florida. He played wide receiver and defensive back as a freshman and sophomore. Made a permanent switch to safety for the remainder of his college career. As a senior, he finished second on the team in tackles with 73 and also had 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles that earned him second team all conference. Then in 2012, he was signed by the Kansas City Chiefs and played 3 preseason games before being cut by the Chiefs. And then he joined the Arena Football League and was assigned to the Tampa Bay Storm in November 2012. He played 2 seasons. The first season, he posted 6 interceptions. The second season, led the Arena Football League in tackles with 111. My man. After the AFL season, he worked out for the Packers and was signed to their practice squad in December of 2014. On September 24th, 2015, he was released by the Packers during the final team cuts. Reason why we have Gene on tonight, because me and Gene was at work yesterday. We was talking. Gene is my coworker. And we was just talking. We was just talking about NFL nuances and how difficult it is to be an NFL quarterback. And I really take umbrage to people that talk a lot of nonsense about people and their profession, and they never did it. So me and Gene talked. He agreed to come on and give us his insight about what it is to be an NFL player, man, and what it is with the playbook and the schemes and all that thing. Gene, as I just read, he played, professionally. And Gene, just give us a little overview before the guys ask their questions. And I have a couple too, man. So go ahead, man. Give us a little oversight, man, about your playing days.
Well, honestly, I remember I told you this, like, going to Bethune, coming out of high school, going to Bethune, it's a HBCU, historically black college.
Yep.
So, I went there. My mindset was like, I'm going to go get my degree for free and I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? And if NFL come, that's just going to be a plus. And,
right.
and being at the HBCU, the people they'll keep you real humble. You're not at Florida, that Florida State, that UM. So, my mindset was like, just go ahead, get my degree, play, have fun, and, keep it pushing. But senior year came, put up some good film. Scouts started coming, worked me out. And eventually I got to the Chiefs. From the Chiefs, now once I got there, I realized that, I could be here. The circumstance didn't allow me to stay because, I got to the Chiefs, they had 21 DBs in the room. Remember telling you that.
Right.
You had Brandon Flowers. You had Donald Washington. You had Eric Berry, Kendrick Lewis, Terrence Parks. The room was loaded.
Hall of Famer, that Eric Berry. Man.
Oh yeah, super nice. Yeah. So the room was loaded, and the reason the room was so loaded the year before, both Kendrick Lewis and Eric Berry got hurt when they played the Broncos.
Right.
Tim Tebow, yeah. So both of them came off injury, so they feel like, the next year we're gonna load up on DBs. So going to that situation, young dude coming in, having to learn a new playbook, the odds are just stacked against me. So I end up getting released. So after getting released, I realized, what, man, I could be at that level. So let me just go ahead and keep grinding. So my agent was like, man, you should go to Arena if you don't want to go to CFL, leave the country. So I went down to Arena, whole different game. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give myself 2 years. If I can't make it out in 2 years, I'm done. And there's a lot of people that stay in the arena after 3-4 years, but after a while, you get lost in the system. You get what I'm saying? There's so many guys coming out. After a while, they just push you to the back burner. So I told myself I'll give myself 2 years. If I can't make it out, I'm good. And first year, I kind of learned the game because it's a whole different game. Second year, got my foot under me, did what I did, led the league in tackles. Right after the season, the Packers was like, hey, we saw your film. We want to work you out. Went up there, worked out, and then they didn't have no slot for me at that moment, but they told me, it was like, hey, stay ready. Once we get a slot open, we're going to bring you in. And, understanding how the league worked, it was kind of like, oh, all right, I'll go home, but I know what it is. But they kept their word, though. So once the slot came open, they called me. They said, hey, we got a slot open. We want to bring you in. So, they signed me on. Just being on that team, I'm on a team with Pep, Julius Peppers, Clay Matthews, dudes I'm watching I'm like, man, that's Pep over there. Like, that's crazy. Aaron Rodgers, you got Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams, you got Cobb. So, being on that team, I was just learning a lot. You got Mo in the safety room. You got Ha just got drafted.
Right.
He was a first rounder. So,
and you played for Roman. Who did you play for? I mean, Mike McCarthy. Am I correct?
Yeah, Mike McCarthy. Yeah.
That's Mike's guy.
Hey, they had a Mike McCarthy. Coach McCarthy had a great scheme over there. He had a great scheme. He had everything just rolling. Everybody loved the program, and we ended up making a run all the way to NFC Championship game, losing to Seattle. Losing to Seattle in overtime, I believe. So that was a dagger. But after that, I came back the following year, tried to make the team. I felt like everything was going good. But then Jordy Nelson went down in the preseason. Once Jordy Nelson went down in the second preseason game against Steelers, a panic kind of went out for receivers because it was pretty much Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams. That's the year they went and got James Jones from the Giants when he got released. So, so we had 6 safeties. So, we had six safeties in the room, and they told me, it was like, hey, if you don't make the team, we'll put you back on the practice squad. So I'm like, okay, well, worst case scenario, I'll be back on the practice squad. So Jordy Nelson ended up getting hurt, which that was an unforeseeable thing. Right. So once Jordy went down, now it's a panic for receivers. So they ended up keeping more receivers on the practice squad. So they was like, well, we don't really need to keep another DB. So that's how I ended up getting cut. So I got the business side of it. And, after getting cut from there, I went to a couple workouts. And then, I was like, you know what, man, I'm good. I'm tired. Like, and people don't understand it's a grind to stay ready for workouts. You'll see people be out the league like, man, why they working so hard? Why they still training every day? Because you basically staying ready for an opportunity that might come, that might not come. So every day, exactly. So every day you got to stay on it. You got to keep grinding. And after getting cut that last time, when I was like, you know what, I'm just kind of over it. And I was like, you know, it's time to look to the next thing.
Gotcha, man. Well, we appreciate your candor and you coming on, man. And one of the reasons why I want you on, I'm gonna get my question out the way about, as I stated in my introduction about you, about people coming on and saying about NFL offenses and saying that this person is a bum when they're a quarterback and things of that nature. Explain to us, and then I'll let the other guys get their questions in. How complicated is a National Football League offense, and what does the quarterback have to do? What does the defensive side have to do? Go ahead, Gene.
Unless you've been in the room and you've actually looked at an NFL playbook, it's kind of hard to not. It's easy to not have sympathy on the players, because at the end of the day, you're like, well, you're a professional. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. But like me and you was talking, like, quarterbacks are done a disservice when you have 5 different coaches in 5 years and 5 different systems, because people doesn't understand how complicated those systems are. And of course, when the coach come in, he doesn't want it to be dummied down. He wanted to be complex. So when you go against the defense, you got the defense thinking, you got the defensive coordinator working. So you have these complicated offenses coming in, and a lot of times you usually have like an off season to put it in. Off season runs based on how deep you make it. Let's say your team's not that well, so by December you're done. So from December until April, so December up until April you kind of off. So, but if you're the franchise quarterback, you'll meet the new coach, you'll get the new system, you'll kind of get a head start on it. But you basically have from April up until the season started in September to kind of perfect that system, right? So, so you see some vets do it. Like Aaron Rodgers last year, he had a new offense, and you kind of see sometimes like he didn't look like himself, right? But now a second year in the same system, you can kind of see the pace he's kind of on. You get what I'm saying? Right. So this is what people don't see, is that these offenses are so complex. Like for me, instance, I was telling you, when I got to Kansas City, my college playbook was kind of like a packet, 10 pages,
right?
About 10 pages. You kind of go through it after running the same plays, a tweak here and there. You good. When I got to Kansas City, they gave me about a 6-ring binder, and it was so thick, because then you have the base, then you have blitz package, then it just goes into it. So in one play, you could really have 10 adjustments, and that's defense. And I've looked at the offense playbook, and I'm like, yeah, I don't even want to mess with that. So just defense alone, you can have one play, but based on what the offense do, you got to make certain adjustments. You get what I'm saying? So Imagine you just grasp that playbook, and in the following year, they're like, yeah, scrap it. We got a whole new system, a whole new coach. It's time to put it in. And that's the background that the people, the fans doesn't see. And the fans don't really care for it, because, they're like, hey, you're a professional. You get paid a lot. We just need you to learn the playbook and just keep it moving. Somebody like Tannehill that went through like all these different offenses, he's going to struggle. That's a given. I understand that, but most people don't get that. Because you give them a new offense in the following, you like, yeah, you know what, scrap it. A team like the Cleveland Browns, switching coaches year after year. It's like, how do you expect them to be good?
Yep.
They can't be good, because nobody really want to go through the growing pains. And, you have to go through the growing pains, let the quarterback learn the system, let everybody get on the same page so you could flourish in the season. But right now, they kind of expect you, hey, the off season, everybody get on the same page and start flourishing. You get what I'm saying? And granted, some quarterbacks' mental capacity is not the same. You get what I'm saying? So if you start looking at the vets, certain vets able to do it, where like, okay, you put in a new system, I'll just run it. But if you just dummy it down to where I have to run exactly what you tell me, I'm going to struggle, because anything the defense give me that's kind of like out of whack, then I'm like, well, I don't really know what to go to because I'm still learning the offense. And that's one of the things like people don't see because these offenses are complex for a reason, and you can't just put anybody in there to learn it. And you'll see the drop off. This is why you'll see the starter, and the thing is, what people don't understand, even with the backup quarterbacks, people don't realize that backup quarterbacks don't really get reps with the first team.
Right.
So the backup in practice, he's running the scout team for the first team defense, right? So if the starter goes down in the game, then you throw the backup in there. So now he's thrusted in there to perform like the starter when he hasn't been getting the first reps with the first team. So there's no sync right there. So people are like, oh man, you the backup, you're supposed to stay ready. Yeah, but he doesn't work with the first team. He worked with the scout team people. And most people don't understand that. So it's a lot of things that go into it that the fans don't see. So, they don't have no remorse on them. With me, I'm like, y'all understand, because I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the playbooks. I've seen what kind of go through during the week. So I kind of understand where they're coming from.
Right. Right, man. Yo, I appreciate your insight. We'll start with DA. DA, question for Gene, man.
All right. So how much are they paying you, man, at Bethune-Cookman, man?
I ain't get paid nothing. I gotta.
Yo, come on, man. Yo,
Hey,
who cut you out there in Kansas City? You want us to go see him?
Nah. We good. It was all love, man. Honestly, man, going to Kansas City, I was just grateful for the opportunity.
Nah, it's all love, man. First and foremost, man. I agree with everything that you're saying. And you didn't need me to say it because you were the pro. I too don't have any time for dudes that diss any professional athlete, and I've always been on that. So if it's Stephen A, mispronouncing a dude's name, all that stuff gets to me because if you're not doing it, you can't say that he's no good or he's not this or he's not that if you're not doing it.
Right.
But that's the world that we live with as far as people wanting to have an outcome that they don't actually have any input into. So you can't get an output if you don't have an input. So if you didn't put anything into it, why you're expecting any outcome is kind of beyond me. But I guess from my perspective, especially with the quarterback thing, and I take this very seriously too. I heard Urban Meyer on, I forgot what it was, Mike and Mike, let's say 10 years ago when Tebow was there. And they was asking him, this goes back to your comment on how hard and how difficult the playbooks are, week to week installation, so forth and so on. And they asked Urban Meyer, is it your responsibility to make sure that your quarterbacks are pro ready? He said, no. He said, my job is to make sure we win the national championship. Right. What anybody does after that is on you, right? So you also have a situation where there are a lot of quarterbacks who are ill prepared for the NFL, right? So guys think, because you played 4 years at, for instance, Mariota and Oregon, you look over to the side, check with me is a picture of a frog, a racetrack, 2 cars, and a big titty hooker, and you got your now you got your protection when you slide into it, all that. Right. You don't have to do anything. You look over, this is what we're doing, right? That's not the way it is in the NFL. So it's actually 2 different games that are being played. And it's definitely why I believe it's probably the hardest job to do. And why I wasn't all on Jameis last year for what happened to him.
Right.
But again, he came in under a different regime in Tampa, so, and like they said earlier with this year, sometimes dudes were quitting on routes, so forth and so on. So it doesn't make things actually easy to do for a quarterback or anyone, I believe. So hats off to you, man. I hope you work with some kids and you can give them both sides of the game. Because, as a high school athlete, you're Superman. Nothing can bother you. Right. You're never going to get hurt. You're never going to have a sprained ankle. You can catch everything. No one's faster than you. All those things are there, but they're not real. So, my hope is that you get at least a good opportunity to help these kids get their heads screwed on right. Because college is not a game, man. And they're recruiting over you from the minute you get there, they recruiting over you. So
Right.
And if you don't have a good if you don't let things roll off your back, you'll never make it. You know,
Right.
you always be looking over your back for someone rather than playing, you playing who's in front of you. So yeah, I appreciate you coming, man. I'd love to have you on more, man, because football is my game. So I a lot of things I hear people say, I just don't get into it, man, because you don't know.
Right.
If you had any respect for anyone, you wouldn't disrespect a man for doing his craft, even if it's a garbage man.
That's right.
That's his job. So let him do what he does. You know what I mean? So I'll let the rest of the brothers jump on in.
Mike,
I'm tired. Just flew back from Mumbai.
Mike Mills, question for Gene.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, man?
So you played safety your last year in college. What did you play before safety?
I was playing both ways, honestly, because in high school I played both ways. So when I was getting recruited, some schools would recruit me for safety, some would recruit me for receiver. So
who were some of the schools that recruited you, real quick?
I had FAU, I had Hampton. The biggest school I had was Arizona State.
Okay.
Yeah. But what happened with Arizona State? Dude named Bill Miller, he was defensive coordinator out there. He ended up losing his job. So he was the one recruiting me. So I didn't understand how big, being out there in Arizona State, how big it was at that level. So you end up losing your job. Basically, the new person come in, he was recruiting his own guy. You get what I'm saying? So
that was before Herman. Wait, that's Herman Edwards, right? Out there now?
No, that was way before. That was like 2000.
That was before, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 2007.
Okay.
Yeah, so he ended up losing his job. So that recruitment kind of stopped. And then I was left with FAU, Bethune, Hampton, Akron, a couple of the small schools.
Okay.
But then, my coach had a good relationship with the Bethune coach. And he was like, man, he was really pushing me towards Bethune. He was like, you're not too far from home, from Miami, but then you're not too far away. And he didn't really want me to go to Hampton because he was like, man, Hampton too far. It's cold. Never been there. So, and I had a boy that went to Akron the year before. He called me up. He's like, nah, man, you don't want to come up here because, it's too cold. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and stick with Bethune. So when I got to Bethune, the coach stood me up and he was like, what do you want to play? You want to play receiver or you want to play DB? I looked around. They had a lot of DBs. I'm like, yeah, I probably get on the field at receiver first. So I chose receiver. So I was playing receiver. And then my boy Mike, who played safety, he ended up breaking his leg my sophomore year, the third game. So out of all people to move the defense, it was like, hey, let's move him to defense. But they still needed me on offense. So it was like, well, just running both ways. So I ended up back in college running both ways, playing on offense and playing on defense.
Wow.
After my sophomore year, our coach got fired, our head coach, and a new coach came in, Brian Jenkins from Rutgers. So when he came in, he wanted to run the Oregon offense. Super fast, look to the sideline. And then it was like, well, you got to pick because you won't be able to run both. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and play on defense because then I could control my own destiny. I get my own stats, my efforts. Offense is quarterback get the ball, make the the right read. If you open, if he's feeling you this week, say, hey, man, let me just stay on defense. So I ended up staying on defense from my junior year all the way to my senior. But my senior year, I broke my foot. So I ended up redshirting that year. So I broke my foot in summer workout. So I redshirted. And then the following year came back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Mike, you got another question?
And my last question. How did you get 111 tackles in arena football? That is insane because they don't play no defense.
It's crazy because the first year the game was so fast to me, right? You would think coming from being in the NFL game and going to arena, you'd be like, well, it's a couple steps down. It'll be slower, but the game is so fast indoors.
Right, yeah.
So much faster. So the first year when I got the arena, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to need that second year to see what I can really do. Even though I did well the first year, I had like 6 interceptions, but the game was so much faster and certain stuff I wasn't seeing. And they got the running motion like CFL.
Right.
So the receivers run up on you so much faster. So I was like, you know what? I was like, man, I'm gonna need the second year. But so by the time I got to the second year, everything slowed down. So now I'm starting to see stuff happen before. I'm looking at the motion, I'm like, oh, this is what he's doing. This is what he's doing. So, and I played in arena, you have the front side corner and then you got the backside corner. The backside corner is in the boundary. He don't really get, he don't get a lot of opportunities to tackle. The front side corner, that got to be the good tackler. So being that I played safety and they figured I was a good tackler from the first season, they was like, okay, let's put him at the front side corner because you playing in more space.
Right.
So playing in more space, I just had more opportunities to make more tackles. And the scheme we ran kind of like a zone scheme. Don't get beat deep, everything in front of you. So every time they was taking, I was just coming up, hitting them. And eventually I didn't even know it. And before I knew it, I was leading the league in tackles.
Wow. Good stuff. D-Dub, what's your question for our guest, Gene?
Hey, Gene, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. Yo, you got a lot of good insight, man. But, yo, you said something that was really funny. There's players really do consider where they're playing at as far as it's too cold, too hot, stuff like that. Is that a real thing?
Definitely, especially going to college. NFL is different because, you just want the opportunity. Everybody been working their entire life to be in the league. So it's like, man, wherever I get on. But college, some people really think about that because you start to think like, well, I've been in South Florida my entire life. And now you want me to go to let's say Wisconsin? Like, that's different. That's a different type of cold up there, right?
Yeah,
so
different cold.
If I have UM, if I have, University of South Florida and, Wisconsin, like, if something's not sitting right with Wisconsin, I might be more likely to go to University of South Florida because, right. I remember Deshaun Jackson, he made a comment when he first went to Tampa, because he was in Philly all this time and, it's
right.
cold out there. He said, man, when he got to Tampa, his legs felt fresher because it's a little bit warmer. So now he could run more, right. So the weather do makes a difference because you go somewhere like Green Bay, you're talking about
different cold.
18,
once you get to November, December, that cold is a little bit different.
I've never seen negative degree weather until I looked at my phone. It said negative 18. I said, what? I said, nah, man, my phone got to be broken. Nah, negative 18.
Wow.
It's so cold in Green Bay in December that at one point when we was going to Seattle, we had to, I think it was like 50, 54. So we had to like turn up the heat in the bubble. And so we was walking outside and it got up to like 30 degrees. 30 degrees felt warm. That's how, like, it's so cold that you get to the point, it's like, oh, 50 degrees. Oh, that's this. I'm wearing gym shorts. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm hanging out. And so you take all, and this is why it's so hard. I know you guys heard that it's so hard to go into Green Bay in December and win because that wind chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different element.
It's a different kind of animal. And you're talking to 4 New Yorkers here. Excuse me, 5 New Yorkers here, man. So 4 New Yorkers. And yeah, that's a different type of cold, man. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. D, you had another question? D-Dub, you had another question?
Yeah, as far as you said, the Arena Football League, how much do the NFL, do they look at you guys? Do they come in droves looking, try and find talent, or how does that work?
Honestly, I honestly didn't even know, they look into the guys, but that year I ended up going, man, I was blessed because we was getting like TV games. We was on a CBS network. Mm-hmm. So, and, arenas played during the spring. So March till August. So March until August. So who knows, maybe some of the scouts downtime, let me turn on CBS network. Let me see what's going on. And then, you create your little highlight tapes. You send out to your agents, but I didn't even really know how much looks, they was getting. That's why when I went in, I said, you know what, I'm gonna give myself 2 years because there was guys on the team that's been there 7 years, 8 years. It was to the point they was just playing because it was fun. They lived in the area. I didn't live in Tampa. I lived in Miami, so I'm like, well, I'm not moving to Tampa. I'm just here to try to get opportunity. It was like almost like a stepping stone. That's how I was looking at it. Mm-hmm. But I didn't even know. They was looking at it like that until after the season and they called me. It was like, hey, yeah, you saw your film? Like, oh, you saw my film? He's like, yeah, we want to bring you up for a workout. I like, oh, all right. I didn't really think nothing was going to come out of it. And I was really, after that second year, I was ready to walk away. But then, the Packers came calling. So, that was just a blessing, man.
Gotcha.
That's good. One more round of questions from Eric, and we're gonna let you go, Gene. Go ahead, E.
Gene, my man, appreciate you being on the show, taking time with us, man. My question to you is, please, we use the term casual fan up here a lot. So for all the casual fans that may be listening, man, take us into the mind of a safety. All they see is guys like, the ball hawking safeties, or guys like Palomalu that just crashes down the line, run support. But what is all of the duties that evolves around the safety?
Man, it's a lot, because the safety is like the quarterback. That's how it's like the quarterback of the defense, right? So you have the middle linebacker who calls out the play. He's wearing the mic with the green dot, right? So just like the quarterback got the green dot, you got the middle linebacker who has the green dot. So he's getting to play some systems, they huddle up. Some systems, everybody stand. Green Bay, you just stood where you stood and you kind of look for the signals. So the safety, you kind of like the brain of the defense. So you got to know what gaps. You basically like the person that make everybody right? So in the back end, you're talking to the corners. You're talking to the outside linebacker. Obviously, you can't talk to the D lineman because, the D line is too far. But you're talking to the outside linebacker and you're talking to the corners and make sure everybody kind of lined up. And a lot of times you're talking to your other safety. And what people don't understand, like when you in the game, it's so much communication that go on. It's kind of ridiculous. You can't be a quiet person playing the game. Like it's so much. Like sometimes I wish they could just let the mic run so you could actually hear like what's going on down there. Like, so it's so much communication down there. Like, so as a safety, your first responsibility, make sure, you talk to the corner. So you guys on the same page based on the scheme you running. If you running, in the pros, which I didn't do a lot in college, they do a lot of switch with the over routes. So if the backside receiver running the over route, the safety will pick them up, corner drop off, end up taking the safety responsibility. So a lot of times you got to be a talker, you got to be a listener. So as the play going on, if you hit a corner saying in, now you got to look to see what's coming. It might be a crack, it might be an over route, and you got to be able ready to take it. And when it get to a certain level, you might have to break off. So you're doing a lot of communicating as a safety. If you blitzing, you got to go down. When you go down to the line, you got to be able to tell the D lineman, you going in, he going out, what you doing. So you're doing a lot of communication as a safety, a lot. And when I got to the Chiefs in college, everything is not as, as heightened. So when I got to the Chiefs, I didn't realize how much more talking that I had to do. So in college, everybody kind of, knew what they was doing, like, hey, in, out. That was basically it. But you get to the next level, now they actually do all this thing. You like it's a shocker for you. You get what I'm saying? You're not used. So this is why, like, guys that go to, the big D1s, the Alabamas, and that's getting the coaching from certain coaches, they come out a little bit more ready. So if you notice, certain positions come out more ready than other positions based on the schools you go to. Because by the time they come out, I have the communication down. I know what to expect. So somebody like me coming from Bethune, a smaller school where we had one pro coach, talking from my boy, Daquan Minzy. He got drafted 5th round from Alabama my year. And he went to the Chiefs. He said the position he played in Alabama was the exact same position Romeo Crennel was running, the star position. So it's like, how can you compete with that? Like, he knew exactly where to fit. He knew the language. He knew what to expect. He knew what was coming. So somebody else that never played the star, that was never in that same system. So if they show up coming from a smaller school, how can you compete with a guy that's from Alabama? So the coaching in college, you could see, like, it kind of help you. That's why you see, like, Alabama always be putting safeties out, and they always do well. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Automatically, they jump on the scene, they do well.
Because they already got the playbook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They program for it. Their playbook is kind of like an NFL playbook, so they kind of built for it. So, but the safety position is a big responsibility. They want you to have the brain capacity, almost like a quarterback, because you have to make a lot of people right. You got to think on the run, and you got to make a lot of people right.
Gotcha. You have one more question for G, and then we're gonna cut him loose.
Yeah. One other question is where does as far as the NFL, right? Whether it be the NFL or the NFLPA, who has the positioning on making sure that guys, when they get drafted, that they understand the business side of the game? Does that fall on anybody? Does that fall on anybody, or that just falls through the cracks?
Honestly, the NFLPA try to do as much as possible as far as making the resources available. But they tell you all the time, once you get to that level, you are grown up. Nobody's gonna hold your hand. So you have the person at the facility that has the job position that's connected with NFLPA, that has all the resources, right? Has all the resources. So any information you need, any links you need, any education you need, you got that guy. But I'm not gonna go chase you.
Right.
You're here to help us win football games. You help us win. Whatever else you do, that's on you. If you decide to take advantage of the resources, you take advantage. So a lot of times, you know, the guys come in, you get the money, you have the agent that's supposed to help you, you know, with the financial advice and everything like that. But the NFLPA provide the resources. A lot of times, who made me realize this? Travis Daniels with the Chiefs. He made me real. I was talking to him when I was at the Chiefs, and he was like really into like business. He had a barbershop in Atlanta. You know, he got a major photography company right now. And he was like, yeah, man, you know, NFL got a lot of resources. You got to use them. You know, they using you. You got to use them back. And he's like, yeah, man, they got education. They got this. They got that. They got this. And that was not even an idea in my mind, because I was just so happy to be there. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not thinking about the bigger aspect. Like, hold up, you know, oh, they got stuff that could help me, so let me tap into it. So a lot of times, you know, the team, they'll draft you, you help them win, they'll cut you a check, and whatever else you do with it, that's on you. And this is why you see a lot of people don't take advantage of the resources they have, because you got to think about it. The NFL is big business. They connected everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere. It took me, I didn't realize how big the NFL was connected until I got to Green Bay. We had a luncheon, you know, a welcome luncheon. And, you know, each player sit at a table, and you just sit at a table, and there's different people at the table. The table I was sitting at, the governor of Wisconsin was sitting at the table. This is probably like a Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm like, I know your schedule. He got his assistant sitting behind. I'm like, I know your schedule busy, but you took the day off to come sit at a luncheon in Green Bay with the governor. So you start to realize, like, yo, these are the people, you know, the NFL has reached to. And if a player decide to be like, you know what, let me go ahead and tap into it, you have so many resources you can use. But the thing is, a lot of people, you know, like myself, you just so happy to be there. You so happy to get your check. Hey, you just get your check, you go spend it, you go help mom, help this person, help that, and then that's really it. And I guarantee you, you know, I've talked to some of my boys. They're like, man, all these resources we had, like, bro, how come we ain't take advantage of it? You know, how come we ain't take advantage of going back to school, you know, and letting reimburse? Like, you don't think about that, because you just say, hey, I'm good, I made it, so I'm gonna just get the money, I'm gonna spend it however. But the NFLPA has a lot of things in place. It's just that they're not gonna chase you to make you, you know, use it. It's there for you if you decide to look for it, but at the same time, like, you're a grown up. You wanna, you know, just go about your business, you go about your business. But if you wanna come into the office, talk to, hey, listen, this is what I need, this is what I need, this is what I need, they're gonna help you. But it's there though, for sure.
Man. Hey man, we're at the 40-minute mark. And dude, I so appreciate you coming through and coming on and give us your insight on what it was, you know, to be down with the NFL and the AFL. And yo, man, you got an invitation to come back, man. If you can hang out with us, you know, a little bit longer next time, man. But Yo, man, we appreciate you, dude, for just coming through, man, and
Sir, appreciate you.
just coming through, man, and yo, man, we'll talk, man. You know, we'll talk at the JOB. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna get on the map.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Thank
Yo,
you, brother.
man, we appreciate you coming
Appreciate
on.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Gene, we'll holler at you later, brother. Take it easy.
All
All right.
man.
Well, that was my man, Jean Fanor, man. That was Gene coming through. Former NFL player with the Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers. Also playing with the Tampa Bay Storm in the AFL, the Arena Football League, man. And he just gave us really some really great nuggets, as E would say, some really golden nuggets on the insight of what it is to be a professional athlete. And that last portion, Eric, that was a very good question, man. All your questions was great. But Eric, that was a really good question about that last piece. You know, what does the NFLPA? They provide you with stuff, but hey, you're a grown up. You're over 21.
Like everything else in life, right? You know, there's stuff out there.
It's up to you.
Grown, bro.
Yeah.
It's up to you to do.
So
Go
watch.
chase it, to go get it.
I just felt like it was important for, you know, any casual fans or any guys that's out there, you know, coming up through college or whatever, man. You know, they may not know, or a guy that's just, you know, on the practice squad, they may not know. They might be, you know, channeled into the Sports Chasers podcast right now. So, you know what I'm saying? Yo, go check your people,
Hey.
get them resources, man.
In the words of my man Marshawn Lynch, what he says, Mike?
Take care of your chickens.
There you go. All day.
Oh
That's what he said.
man, that was dope, man. That was a really good interview that we had with my man Jean Fanor, man. Shout out to Gene.
But it was really important. You know how we talk about like all these, you know, the quarterbacks and, you know, these players, and like I'm looking at Cam Newton, right? We know what Cam Newton was about. 2015, he was an MVP. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, to say now, you know, he had two rough games. Now all of a sudden, everybody start looking at him like, you know, yeah, he's not the same guy, or, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he had to be something to be an MVP candidate and winner.
I think it's, you know, it's that same old, they build you up to break you down. You know, that's the reason they do it.
I was just about to say that.
That's the exact reason why they do it. So it always gives them a storyline, you know, to because of course anybody with a piece of brain would not say that, oh, well, Cam don't know how to play no more. That's stupid.
Oh no, D, they're saying it.
I know. I know.
You know.
But like I said,
he's finished.
Yeah, I can't play into that. I can't. But the thing is this, man, this is the serious thing is that he could be finished, right? Because he still may be hurt, right? Because the shoulder is very, very hard to recover with. And, you know, you're going to say what you need to say to get on the field, but the eye in the sky don't lie. So when you out there and you know, passes aren't making it this or that, whatever, you know, it's hard. And then, you know, you also got the thing that guys always do on Cam. He's not that bright. You know what I'm saying? So he couldn't pick up the offense. So he did this, he did that. That's a whole lot of shit, man, to deal with, you know. For them to not only say that you're not playing well, but that you're not smart enough to play well. Like, that shit's crazy. You know what I mean? Right. So that's why I'm like, you know, I stay away. The more I mess with y'all, the less I watch that stuff.
There's no reason to badmouth Cam. They overreacting. They 3-3. The only game they played in that span that they should have won was against the Broncos. You dropped a bad one. Okay, so what?
Yeah.
Come on. And then he was out for a couple weeks because of COVID, which is
another
thing.
Another hurdle to try to jump over and get right.
Right.
And without us knowing how that really impacts players.
Right. Exactly.
If you catch COVID, and I know dudes that said that their breathing was off for the next month.
Right.
Breathing off, brain fogs. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he's back there in the pocket thinking to throw, and he's just a step slower. We don't know.
Listen, we don't. And that's why I stopped watching this dudes do this stuff.
Yeah.
I can't.
I've been but I can't do it, man. You're not going to pollute my mind with your garbage every damn day, man. I can't, man. I
And
can't.
that game was.
I would go ahead and call it the way what I call it, but we trying to get sponsorships up, and I ain't want to destroy what my man just put out there. So I'm a chill right now.
Listen,
and that game was terrible.
What game, Mike?
The Patriots game. That game was awful. The commentators looked like they didn't want to be there. Nobody wanted to be there. Niners thrashed them early. Shout out, but
shout out to D's team, the Niners.
But that game was a
D, you not impressed? DA, you not impressed?
DA didn't even want to be there. Nobody wanted to be at that game.
We got 5 trophies, baby. I'm used to seeing the highlights, man. We got 5 trophies, brother. So the Niners, we not even close to what the 81 team was.
Oh, since we're reviewing games, so let's talk about that game real quick. The Patriots against the Niners. DA, what's your thought? Nothing.
Better teams supposed to win. Better teams supposed to win. That's
good teams win the games in front of them.
That's it. No more, no less, man.
Yeah, but I did, and thank God I have not had the opportunity to listen to some of the naysayers, whatever about Cam or what the question may be. But I'm like, wow. I mean, how could you just say that and just say it with a straight face? But
they got nothing else to say.
DA said it earlier about his ex-quarterback Jeff Garcia, man. He needs a check. So he's going to dance for the check, and thank God we're independent right now, and stay independent, and we can just dance our own music, and we don't have to have what does DA always say? Had the producer in there. Hey, say that. Hey, say that dumb stuff. Hey, Eric, say something real crazy so the fans can just hate you.
If you watch it close enough, though, like real talk, you'll see when they throw something in Molly's ear, and she'll ask a stupid ass question. You'll be like, "What?" It's not her question.
Little do y'all know, we secretly have headsets attached, and Kevin tells us all those things when he's not talking.
Yeah, there you go. Bzz.
Say it again.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Nothing, man. Nothing. You didn't tell me to say it, so I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, but it's sick, man. It's just not. Yeah, but I think Mike said it best, man. You beat the team that's in front of you that you're supposed to beat. And then in 2 years, if you can do that in 2 years, by the time that second year's over, you'll probably be going deep into the playoffs. If you can do that. But you got to be able to win the games you're supposed to win.
Beat the bad teams, challenge the good teams until you can beat the good teams.
Unless you're Dallas.
Well,
no, we're not even going to engage Dallas this week. We'll talk about the Steelers. Titans. Steelers and Titans. The Steelers beat the Titans 27-24. Titans kicker tried to kick a last-minute field goal. Didn't go. Went wide right. Steelers hang on to be 6-0. Titans fall to 5-1. Really, really good game. Titans fell behind. And E, since you chimed in, what's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, that's a game where Pittsburgh looks strong. And even in the loss, Tennessee don't look bad. I don't have any difference going forward with either of these two teams that I didn't already have going into the game. Pittsburgh started out great. We already know they have a stout defense. The offense did what it needed to do early. But once Tennessee got it rolling, you can see how effective they are. Tannehill in that run game, man, is, again – him leaving Miami, it's just crazy how a guy could just change his atmosphere. But anyway, I'm getting too lost in that. But yeah, it was a very, very good game. Tennessee is going to be a tough out this year, I believe.
I agree.
Nashville.
That AJ Brown.
Yes.
I told man.
Six receptions, 153 yards, 1 TD, man. He had this one. Tannehill floated over the middle.
Everybody
ran. Yeah, he was smoking, gone. So I'm gonna piggyback off of E, Kev. The Titans, even with this loss, they don't look. It wasn't bad. They just played from behind, I think, and just didn't have enough time on the clock. You understand what I'm saying? And missed the field goal. So for me, Pittsburgh won. But they even. And you got to look at Ben Roethlisberger, man. He threw 3 interceptions. Tannehill didn't throw not one. 2 TDs for Tannehill. So,
They were bad interceptions too, really bad
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So, Tennessee still, hey, I'd rather take an L early than to take it late down the stretch. So if it's an L to get out the way, get it out the way now, and work it down the way. Work on it down the stretch. But good game overall, though. That was a 1:00 game, I believe.
Okay, DA, what's your thoughts on the Titans game?
I agree. I think I saw a lot of points. The Titans left on the field, a few blocks missed. You can't. Henry cannot be stopped behind the line. So if you're getting penetration, and because he needs to be rolling downhill. Once he's rolling downhill, then everybody becomes Josh Norman, right? But what happens when they knifing in and hitting him before he gets to make his first cut, he's ineffective at that point in time. So they just need to stay up, keep him on his feet a little bit longer, and he'll be fine. Because for them, it doesn't have to be a 200-yard game. It just has to be a certain amount of carries. For them. It doesn't have to be yards, it's carries. So if he gets 25, 30 carries, then they're going to win the game. Because that means that they're ahead. So I think that they're going to be good towards the end. And when the weather starts getting colder, you pack your defense and your running game. So I think they'll be just fine.
Excuse me.
Gotcha. Mike Mills, any comments? There's Titan games. Any more comments, I should say?
That's 5.
Put it in the cup.
That's
How
10.
you going? No. That's my pay. You can't charge me. I was thinking, I said 5, 10. All right, as much as I cannot stand the Steelers or their quarterback.
That's right.
For non-football reasons, so we're not going to go into that.
Nope.
But for the football reasons, I can't stand him. He likes to throw people with melanin under the bus. I want to shout out Mike Tomlin for keeping that team together because quiet as it's kept, he got to be holding that team together based on some of the comments his quarterback has made in the past and the behavior. But that defense was rock solid last year. They showed they wasn't going to give up. Even though they had Duck Dodgers and whoever else back there, they were still holding it down. So shout out to their defense. They're serious. I can't wait to see them play the Ravens this weekend. Can't wait. Can't wait to see them play the Ravens this weekend. And shout out. Ain't they the last undefeated?
Last undefeated.
So we'll see.
Quiet as kept. That dude is my MVP, my coach of the year right now. If I had to choose, that would be my pick, man.
Low key, he's holding that team together.
Yeah.
And that was another thing, when you talk about consistency, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been the most consistent team as far as having a quarterback. I mean, having a coach at that position. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So, and the guys being collectively everybody together. So, shout out to him for doing his thing, man. I don't think he gets enough credit. And hopefully, what you said, he gets coach of the year. He should.
But the Steelers been doing that since then, inception into the NFL in the late 50s, man.
That's the Rooney's got. Yeah,
they've only had 4 or 5 coaches. All right, I count on one hand. With Chuck Noll, who else?
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Noll, your man Billy, and then
Billy Cowell, Cowell, and
Speaking of Cowell, why is he in the Hall of Fame?
Sure,
we going. I can't. My head hurt. I can't. We ain't doing that tonight.
No, Mike. No, next. No. No, I'm sorry.
No.
What's the next game on the tap, Kev? We gotta keep it.
Mike. Browns and Bengals. The Browns are 5-2. They beat the Bengals, who are 1-5-1, 37-34. Last minute toss by Baker Mayfield.
Who had a good game.
Wins the game. That was another good game. DW, since you're talking up, what's your thoughts on the Browns and Bengals?
Babe, for all the talk about Baker Mayfield, and I understand they're playing Cincinnati, but Cincinnati's a pretty good team too, so let's not sleep on them. Baker, 22 of 28, 297, 5 TDs, one pick. He had a good game. Here's the thing. His star wide receiver goes out. Comes to find out, ACL. He's gone for the year. Now, after he went out, Baker seemed to play much better. And it kind of reminded me of Eli Manning when he had like Jeremy Shockey and what's my man's name? The running back, Tiki Barber. It seems like once they got those two guys out of there, he started playing better. And I'm not saying that this might happen to Baker, but it just kind of reminded me of I've seen this before. So shout out to Baker for doing his thing, and yeah. 30, I mean, 37, 34.
Go ahead, D.
I think that's Baker's fault, man. If you ain't strong enough to play, you ain't strong enough to play, baby. Either you're gonna should get off the pot, because Odell can't make you throw the ball to him.
I know.
You can't. If he's open and you're not throwing it, you're gonna have a problem.
Scared of Odell. They'll be taking his lunch money.
Yep.
Yeah, but but whose fault is that? Is that Odell's fault for taking the lunch money? Or
Yes. You too
for
old to be bullying.
Well, here's the thing with that Odell. I mean, D. I'm like, this is the second, third year, almost consecutive year. This guy's always hurt. Yeah. Now this year is a little bit different because of all that's going on, but it just seems like every year we got something. He was hurt last year, right?
Nah, he was good last year.
Oh, he got hurt toward the end of the year. He didn't. I don't think he finished the year because they said once the year was over, he was hurt. He played hurt, but you could tell. He wasn't effective.
That's what it was. He didn't want to say he was hurt. He didn't want to say that he was hurt. That's what it was. I'm sorry.
That's on the team, man. Don't let him play.
He got to get his stuff together. This is an ACL. This is a serious injury. He'll be off to take care of it. But, they're going to have to start reevaluating what's going on there. I mean, I think they had probably two. Is there such thing as too much talent? I know it sounds crazy, but you might have too much in too many positions, and you might need to.
It all depends on who the leaders are. Because, some guys are built to handle egos and things of that nature. And that's basically, we're not talking about Odell's talent because it's all world. We're talking about his ego. And I think that's one of the things why Baker played well is that he don't have that on his shoulder. Let me make sure he gets his 8 targets. I'm quite sure that some guys are not built for that type of pressure. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Baker is. That's just my opinion.
You guys are hypocrites because
let this guy on the show again. Gee, I can't even finish my sentences without this guy chiming out. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's a problem, man. You know me. I'm the one that if a white lady grabs her purse because she sees me in the elevator, that's her problem, not a me problem. And they got enough stars on that team that if it wasn't Odell, they got 2 starting running backs, 2 starting tight ends.
2 starting tight ends.
Yeah, like starting. They got the kid, the African cat, and the other dude. They got
Njoku.
Njoku.
So
and they pay Austin Hooper $10 million.
Yes, and it's never going to. So there's always going to be someone who's mad that they're like. Because remember, everybody else that we're talking about, they make their money based on their numbers. So if
which
Njoku's not getting his.
Which our guest just said, right?
Yeah. So
and
it's always going to be pressure.
D, it's funny because Sunday I was looking. I said when Njoku caught the touchdown, I said, man, I forgot they had him. And they got Hooper and they got
a crew.
You got a crew there, but then somebody's numbers is not going to be reflecting to what because it's all about the money, right? As we all know, it's all about that paper. So your numbers don't start looking like, a certain way, you ain't gonna get that money.
You guys said Odell was not the problem, and he seems now he is the problem. Make up your mind.
He's not the problem. I told you.
All I said was, and I think Daryl said the same thing, was that it seems like Baker does. It seems like the pressure is kind of off of him. I didn't say nothing else about.
That's it.
Not them. I don't. I believe this is just me. Okay. I believe you need a guy that is going to go get it on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball, okay? And until somebody else steps up and does that on a consistent basis, then I will say that Odell is that guy. Now, of course, he's no longer here, so I'm not even going to talk about that man no more. He's in rehab, trying to get back.
Right.
So, who on the Cleveland offense besides the running backs is going to step up every week?
But Jarvis Landry was a star. Like he was actually had better numbers
in Miami.
He actually had better numbers than Odell when he was in Miami.
True, but here's the thing too. It seems like Jarvis Landry, and y'all could kill me in the comment section. Y'all could kill me up here for making this comparison. It seems like Jarvis Landry pulled a D Wade to get his man Buddy on the team, and he's taking the back seat. Now he may have more yards, but it doesn't seem like Jarvis Landry has the impact of the Jarvis Landry in Miami.
Yeah, I just think
in Miami, he was the only one. Now
it was
like
him. And
they had Devontae Parker there too.
Okay. Are you telling jokes?
The GM said.
Talk about it.
Devontae Parker? I don't think he's bad. I just think he's one of those guys that gotta get a fire lit under him. He need a motivator. Just like look like he was cool under Fitz. Last season, from the end of the season, who was their quarterback last year? I can't remember who their quarterback was. That was terrible. The end of the season last year, he was having a hot streak, but then he comes and he goes. He's
that
real
might have been a switch
goes.
with he is playing in Miami. You had Rosen, you had who else you had there?
Yeah.
You had
I think
Louis
they had
Shuey and
Fitzpatrick
Dewey
last year, right? But we'll see what he do on the tour. But I don't think they're gonna throw the ball as much now for sure.
I just I think it also goes back to what we always talk about too, man, that stable team.
Right.
Stable owners, things like that also play a lot with this. Because like
that
I said,
definitely plays a lot. That's what we need to have on the show next.
Has to be stronger. They got to be stronger, man. Like I give them no dog. If you playing better when the dude's not there, you got a problem, Baker. Because there's always going to be somebody on the field that want the ball.
Well,
somebody going to want the ball.
He had
somebody going to want the ball.
Rashard Higgins wanted the ball. He had six receptions, 110 yards.
There you go.
So and Jarvis Landry only he was targeted 5 times, 48 yards. So he had 6 targets. No impact. Jarvis Landry, 48 yards.
Yeah, so
targeted 6 times.
I think if they winning, I think they're good. I think that's self-imposed pressure. So if you're winning, things is good. If you're not winning, then they're not good. So I just can't give quarterbacks. Like I said, I respect our guest tonight and how hard it is. But the reality is, if a dude's open, you throw him the ball. If you got time to throw it to him. So with that being said, I don't want to hear a cat being like, "Oh man,
so you're not trying to
so
feel,
much
you're not
pressure
feeling
on me."
Baker Mayfield?
No, nope. Dog, you're quarterback. You getting that paper, B. Throw it to who's open. Throw it to who is open.
Standing tall in the pocket, standing tall in the
Hey, I don't care if he's standing tall, laying on his back. I don't care what he's doing. He need a win. That's what he needs, a win.
The setup here for the last 40 minutes.
Can somebody please mute this man?
Hard it was to play an NFL quarterback.
It is hard.
Very hard. The hardest position out there. But still,
it's just. I can't give you any props for you saying it's his fault. That goes to what we talk about with the dude I hate the most. Roethlisberger. Like, your dog, it's not his fault. It's on you. Right. It ain't ever no one else. It's always you. That's what grown people do. You don't blame. Oh man, Odell. There's so much pressure, man. Fuck that, man. Listen,
Mikey's
to do this whole
lunch money.
Come on, man.
I just want to say that the Browns did not brown.
No,
2 times this year. So I'm proud of them, man. Slow progress, man.
Hey, and I thought the Lions were going to line, and they didn't.
Nah, that's because the Falcons.
Falcons. Yeah, they Falcons.
Right.
Yo,
they clipped them wings on that bird.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, I don't.
Just don't say no. Just don't. We're
gonna move on. Yeah. Let's move to the Sunday night game. You talk about taking the paper, taking the bag, and doing whatever they need to do with it. Man, this is really a good game last Sunday night, man. I'm glad I was able to watch it. The Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks in the desert. The Seahawks came to Arizona to play the Cardinals, and the Cardinals come up winning 37-34 in overtime.
Bird game.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Bird game.
Bird game.
Ah!
Yeah, so the Cardinals are 5-2. The Seahawks undefeated. Now they're currently 5-1. They still lead the NFL NFC West, which is the best.
I told y'all.
All of football, and that is real talk. That's your team. They beat Russell Wilson, who played an outstanding game. He had an interception that was questionable. But hey,
That last one
won, man. Yeah, that last one. Your team won, man. What's up,
man? Shout out to Car Seat Kyler. Ever since y'all gave him that little hashtag or whatever, gave him that name, he's been balling ever since. Mike, I appreciate you.
That's true. That's true,
man. I will say, I really didn't think that, Arizona, I still feel is a couple of years away. Still young. Yes, you got Larry Legend over there mentoring and whatnot, but they still some years away. But boy, man, that was one of the best games I've seen. Of course, there's been a lot of good games, but for them to go toe to toe and not give up, that's what you want to see within a divisional game anyway. But for them to go toe to toe and not give up and missing kicks and still just plugging away, man, that's what you want to see in any team, but especially in your team, man, to have that fight week in and week out, every down, every time out, man. Shout out to the Seattle Seahawks. They still the cream of the crop, man. No disrespect whatsoever. Russ is Russ. I don't know what he was looking at. I think he just automatically thought that his man was going to be there. That's just what it looked like to me. Right. That was more of a read and not just a look, is my man there? Okay, boom, he's open. It was just a quick read. He was supposed to be there, and it was just a great defensive play by the rookie. And yeah, man, it was one for the ages. But DK Metcalf. I told y'all, man.
23 miles.
Seattle does not need no more help. I don't know who came up with that. I know Russ is that guy. He got that bag and he's doing whatever, but he has some hitters on that offense, man. At any given time, they could take a 5-yard out and take it into your end zone. So, well, it was a great game.
Yeah, it was. Great quarterbacks, great teams. Metcalf is Terrell Owens 2.0. For sure. It's like, from a physical perspective, they go hard, they play hard. And like you said, man, they did that without a real steady running game. So wait for that to come. Wait for the defense to really play. And they're gonna be all right. They're gonna be all right. It's just that getting everything together at the same time. Having your defense and everything else right while you're still paying car seat Kyler $50 a week is when you win a Super Bowl, because you can't do both. So
right.
You can't play the quarterback and everybody else. So
that's true.
It's definitely pretty hard.
Mike, what's your thoughts?
The Cardinals are indeed a young team, and they came out with a tough win. Like I said, beat the ones in front of you, surprised the great teams. So, like E said, I still think they're a year or two away. So it's going to be saddening when them feathers start to flop later on down the line. But we'll see. Hey, look, just being honest. That wasn't Russ Wilson out there. That was Gus throwing them interceptions. I don't know what that was. Especially that last one. Like, I'm not ready to go home. He just do that real quick. But I'm glad the kicker on the Cardinals got redemption, because that'd have been a horrible way to go home after your team played their heart out all night.
He would have got cut.
He would have got jumped.
Because the Cardinals have had a very historic past few seasons with kickers just missing kicks left and right, man. Games that they should have won. But I'm glad that like Mike said, I'm glad he got his redemption.
I'm glad he got his redemption, because that'd have been horrible for that man to get beat up after the game?
Yeah. I think the like you said, Russell Gus Wilson. Yeah, especially on that last throw, I was like, wow, he threw that interception, and the Cardinals fought back. What do y'all think about what we said, what we talked about earlier about consistency and why is Kyler Murray? Why is he successful this year? Why is he that successful? It's your team. Why is he successful?
Well, I'm gonna just say it like this, man. The same reason why Baltimore has been successful, man. When you bring in a guy that is deemed your number one guy at the quarterback position, you have to build around him and his talents. You know what I'm saying? You can't bring a guy in and just make him, okay, well, we just gonna make him stand in the pocket and make him do this and make him do that. No, that's not his game. So what you do is you bring him in, you bring that talent in, you show up that offensive line, and then you bring in the talent around him so he could flourish where he needs to. And obviously, I've had, again, we all know about the whole Kingsbury hire and all that, how I felt about all of that. But yo, man, the man is putting out. He got the team rolling, man. Nothing else I could say about it. But that would be my reasoning as to why.
Oh.
And plus, he's pretty good.
Pretty good. D-Dub?
Yo, man, the game was great. Russell Wilson, as you all stated earlier, we don't know what was going through his mind on that last play, but it wasn't it, and that was pretty much the demise of of their 5 and he was trying to go for 6-0, so they end up at 5-1. And the Cardinals, man, hey, take their hats off to them. They're playing really, really good ball at this moment. At one point, I thought the game was over with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I said, man, this game is going to be over. And sure enough, they came back and forced the overtime. So
yes.
As far as Seattle, I mean, I have to give shout out to Tyler Lockett, man. 15 receptions, 200 yards, man. 3 TDs, man. Ain't nobody talking about him.
No.
He's balling. Nobody really talking about him. And he's been, you got Metcalf on the other side,
Cool. With that great play,
which was a great defensive play,
right?
Running that guy down who was about to score a touchdown. So,
and I think they want to make 3 out of that, correct?
If I'm not mistaken, yes.
They want to get only out of that. So that was a big game changer, man. So
these teams you should see down the stretch, and especially being that the NFC least is the worst division.
Excuse me. The NFL,
the worst division, NFC. So they
And now you on that.
Yeah. So with the 5-2 record, it's possible that you might get 4 teams out the West. To make it. It's possible.
Somebody's got to win the NFC East. They might win it with 7-9, man. Might.
Oh, let me ask you one question. This year? Did they change the playoff format this year?
I thought it was next.
Is it next year? They talk about 7 teams.
Yes, I thought it was next year. This year is staying same. Next year will be the same. We can confirm it for the end of the show, but I thought it was still the same until next year. So
I'll try to confirm. Okay.
Yeah, but that was a very good. That Sunday night game was very, very, very good. Just to run down last night, Rams beat on the Bears 24-10. The Bears look like they didn't know how to play offense. They had trouble scoring. Chargers beat up on the Jaguars. Herbert, he was doing his thing, man. Hey, Tom Brady's 5-2. Him and the Buccaneers 5-2.
Herbert Brady.
I want to know. They keep saying who's getting the best of the divorce deal. It looks like right now Tom Brady with his 5-2 record.
Let me just comment real quick. Now, Daryl had said something earlier about the Browns about having too much talent. Now, with the way that Tampa Bay was rolling these past couple of weeks, I mean, outside of the I don't know how many timeouts we had game, but the offense has been rolling. Now, how much is a AB going to affect all of that? Is that going to be more positive or more negative? That's just my question to you guys.
Yeah, Antonio Brown did sign with Tampa Bay. I'll start when. Okay, so he signed Friday, right? This is when he signed Friday, correct? Friday.
Mhm.
I mean, they got a bunch of weapons on there. So, I mean, AB comes and just plays football, does what he's supposed to be. I see it as a positive. If he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, come there and play football and becomes a distraction, they'll do like how they did in New England. They'll cut him.
This ain't New England.
Well, hear me out. So I'm saying if he becomes a distraction and he starts not to do, you hear from him and it's not football stuff, then yeah, I mean, I wish DA was here because DA had a lot to say about the coach picking him up. But go
Yeah,
ahead, Mike.
because when you go from 1 year saying nah, he'll never be a buck, and I think that was last year, till now you going to pick the guy up. So what happened from last year to this year? I mean, I think we should get some type of explanation because you can't. It came out your mouth. So now as far as what he was talking, do they need it? I don't think they. I mean, I don't know. It's a question of can you have too much talent, and with this guy, I mean, he's talented, but with all that extracurricular stuff, do you really need it? Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Juice worth the squeeze. Good assessment. I don't know. I mean, as long as he plays football, I don't think there'll be no what you would call it. But we'll see. E, you had something else on that?
I was just going to say, to me, I think the biggest difference is Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady has a lot more influence down there in Tampa than what is led to be. What is led on.
I agree with that.
And that is why we have this signing. I mean, again, you rolling like your offense. We see it starting to click now. You know what I'm saying? And I think what our man Gene, what he said earlier goes with Tom Brady as well. This man played in New England for how many seasons? Now he down there in Tampa. Hey, that can jump his career another 2-3 years just for playing in warm weather. I mean, he does look like he keeps himself in pretty good shape to be throwing that ball 40, 50 times a week. So.
Yeah, true that.
I mean, all Arians can say now is, hi, I'm Bruce Arians. I have foot and mouth disease. I should have shut up. I didn't know he was getting Tom Brady. But I mean, it could work. But then this is not New England. This is not Dallas. The ownership is not sending cars to your hotel to babysit and watch you. You're a grown man. So if AB is going to be grown and be professional and do what he's supposed to do, they'll be perfectly fine. But if he's not and he out doing all the extra stuff, he'll be right back where he was at home with us, watching football on Sunday.
Gotcha.
And by the way, Kev, it is this year. They will extend from 12 to 14 teams this season.
Okay.
That's trash.
Yep.
Did I hear? I thought I heard something. I've been kind of busy this week. Does Brian sign with somebody's practice squad this week?
Yes, he signed
Baltimore allegedly.
Oh yeah.
With your Ravens, Mikey. Yeah, what do you think about that? Or do you think about it? Do you care?
It's interesting. It's interesting because we think Dez Bryant is old, but Dez Bryant is only 31 years old, crazy enough. It seemed like he's been around forever, right? Dez is only 31 years old. Plus, he's had about 2 years away to heal up and everything. So maybe they did see something. Maybe they think he could open up the offense a little bit more because we don't get the ball to the receivers as often as we should. But then again, it could go either way. So we just gotta wait and see.
You know what, man? That's a good thing. You said I think the NFL be aging people out quickly, man. Than they should be, man. Some of these guys, man, you be looking like, yeah, man, you 30 something. You know, you're not inherently that old, man.
I just look at the running back. What's my man name that's been playing forever? What is his
Frank
name?
Gore.
Frank
Frank
Gore.
Gore, he's with the Jets now.
Frank Gore is how old? How old is Frank Gore?
Frank Gore freed the slaves.
He's
Next
like
question.
33, something like that. Hold on.
Somebody find out real quick
Yeah.
how Frank Gore is.
Frank, you stupid, dog.
D-Dub, that's a really good assessment. Yeah, the NFL absolutely be aging you out because there's so much
It's
talent.
It's assembly line. It's an assembly line. They keep on cranking it out.
It's assembly line,
Yeah.
and the next host of the guests that we want to have on is some college and high school coaches.
Frank
Nobody
Gore.
gonna do-
I'm sorry. I'm blown away. Frank Gore birthday, May 14th, 1983. That man is 37.
Frank Gore is 337 years old. Like I said before.
I'm blown away.
Frank Gore freed the
37?
slaves.
And you want to get rid of running backs at right at 30.
Frank Gore freed the slaves and rode the midnight train to Georgia.
Wow,
Jesus.
Frank Gore, and he's with the Jets, and he makes the team.
Shout out to Frank Gore, man.
Shout out to Frank Gore.
Is Adrian
man.
Peterson still playing somewhere?
I
Yeah,
thought he
playing
could.
with Detroit.
No,
Yeah.
did they?
He playing. Yeah,
Okay.
he playing with Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Frank Gore, man. He continues to keep chugging along, and much.
I was going to make another point, but I lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going, but yeah, Frank Gore,
My bad.
he's still doing it.
I apologize, Frank Gore. These is all jokes. But I want to say Frank Gore is the epitome of putting your hat on and going to work every day. Whether it be sports or real life, you can learn from Frank Gore. He's played every season. Even if he's on a different team, he goes hard, no matter how old he gets.
Yes.
Shout out to Frank Gore.
Oh, which brings me to this. That's what I was going to bring up. Watch how they're going to do Ezekiel Elliott. He got that money. Look how you just listen to the buzzwords that they talk about Zeke. You know, he's not that type. You know, he's not getting the ball. He's not. Just listen. He's fumbling the ball now. All of a sudden, he can't. What he did? He dropped the ball. I think Sunday.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
think because
just pay attention to that.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with Zeke. I just think Zeke. I think Zeke won out. I think he realized. I think he see what I see, and it's like, man, maybe I shouldn't have signed that contract.
Well,
you here now.
You should have been like Darrell Reeves and signed them 1 year.
I mean, I guess he didn't know McCarthy. I guess he didn't know the running back killer was coming, but
Mike,
he's here now.
Mike, why you didn't ask our guest about Mike McCarthy?
He seen the light, Mike. I didn't want to kill his dreams. I want him to come back. Maybe the next time he come back. You see, that's why I'm having my interview glasses on. These are my podcast glasses.
Oh, okay.
I have my interview glasses on. I wanted to feel comfortable to come back. The next time he come back, talk about his man.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you having a safe space.
Hospitality the first time, man.
Oh, and a special shout out. I know we jumping, but since we on the subjects of running back, shout out to Alvin Kamara, who I thought was the prototypical LaDainian Tomlinson of the past couple of years. You know, they want to give everything to CMC after that great year, and okay, cool. But let's not forget about what Alvin Kamara does for the New Orleans Saints. The man is putting on a clinic, running the ball, catching the ball. Shout out to Alvin Kamara.
Shout out to Alvin Kamara. Real quick, running down, like I said, NFL Week 7. Chiefs destroyed the Broncos 43-16. The Cowboys didn't come to play in Washington. Washington just destroyed them 25-3. Saints and Panthers, that was a good game, 27-24. Saints coming out on top. Packers seem to come back in form. They beat on the hapless Texans 35-20. The Falcons will continue to falcon. One point about that game real quick. When what's my running back's name? He I can't think of his name.
Gurley.
Gurley not supposed to score, and he scores, and all he had to do was lay down, and they hold on to the ball, and they possibly win the game, and the Lions came back and won the game, man. That's all I can say, man. And that's it. My Giants lost to the Eagles on 22-21 on Thursday night.
Yo, how did he fall like that? How?
Man,
Who's that?
Ty
What you talking about?
I'm talking about Eli Daniel Jones, man in the third. How did he fall like that?
He was concentrating too hard, man. Just
He
run,
was
man.
why he was going. He was there.
I'm just glad that the Giants did finally score a touchdown on that drive, because if they wouldn't have,
Giants.
Well, I'm not gonna give them that. I'm not gonna give them that label just yet, man. The Giants, there's some things they gotta take care of.
We got 4 Super Bowl championships, man. So
yeah. We can't give them the Giants, not yet, man.
Nah, you ain't gonna say the Giants go Giant. The Giants always do this. They have these couple bad years, and then they come back and they beat the G-men again, and then they go back to being bad. This is part of their cycle. So
this is part, right.
I don't think it's been this long though.
Yeah.
Nah, this one's a little bit longer than usual. Normally it's like 2 to 3 years. This one's looking like 5 to 7.
Yeah. But at the same time, they still in position to win the division. That's how bad the division is.
You know what? No true words have ever been said.
Which is crazy. Real quick, we're gonna transition to the NBA for 2 seconds. D-Dub brought it up. D-Dub brought it up.
I shouldn't have. I really shouldn't have.
D-Dub brought it up. The NBA is looking to be, what they say, Christmas? I don't have an official statement in front of me, but
they talk about December 22nd now.
There's a lot of pushback for some of the players saying that we're not ready to play Christmas. We want January or February the least. The most. Eric has put his hat down, so Eric is now answering the questions towards that. Mike, what do you think about the NBA starting? When should they start? You tired of the NBA right now? Or?
I'm cool because they just ended, but I want to see the draft. They're clearly not going to do Summer League this year, because I do enjoy Summer League. They give us that last bit of basketball before we have enough for the whole summer. But, December could be a reach, I guess. But February, come on now. February, they could come back in January and be first. They just had 4 months at home, and they about to have another they home right now. Yeah. The finals been over for how long now?
Well, a couple weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
It's been a couple weeks now, so they home. And the people who didn't make the finals, they've been home.
Yeah.
So think about it. It's people who haven't been playing. What about the teams that didn't get invited to the bubble?
Almost 9-10 months now that they haven't played. You're right.
They haven't played in almost a year. Like, come on now. December's kind of pushing it. Even in the middle of December, I could see that. And January. I don't want to January 1st.
MLK Day, I think January will be suffice.
They be crying. I miss my family. I was in the bubble. You was just home with your family 5 months, 3-4 months in between. Like, really? Come on.
D-Dub, you brought it up.
Yeah, man. These guys, man. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm with y'all. I could. January probably been a better time. First of the year to reboot it. Now I gotta hear if this guy is not gonna play the first month, and he's gonna drag his feet. He's gonna talk about. The NBA should just set a tentative date for January and keep it pushing. So now not only that, you got you got the draft to take care of, and I think they're gonna do that in November, if I'm not mistaken. So
November 18th is draft night.
November 18th is draft night. So it's a lot of stuff that, because of this whole, they wanted to do this continuation, which I was one that said they don't need to do it, and they could just pick up to the next season, just cancel that season, last season, and pick up this season. But they decided to go with the bubble, so now you got players crying. The same ones that said they was cool to do the bubble and knew that, you know, it was a potential possibility that you're gonna have to restart up somewhere. So, you know, I don't understand what the crying
Yeah,
was about.
you're just not going to get rid of the, you know, as our guest said before, how the NFL is global. So is the NBA, really global. And the NBA had to pay people. So that was part of the thing. So, you know, all those sponsors and stuff like that. I don't know if y'all recognize, like, you know, when a home team was home, you know, those sponsors of that particular home market was on the court. So, you know, them people had to get paid. So at the end of the day, it's about the money, it's about the capital. And this is what the NBA, this is what the Board of Governors, and this is what the commissioner is saying. And I'm like with D-Dub, they should have just scheduled some tentative. Hey, we're looking maybe in between Christmas and MLK Day. That's it. But I agree with Michael too, Mike Mills, when he's saying that these dudes was home. Some of these guys have not played basketball in like 9-10 months. So make up your mind, guys. Make up your mind. Mike Mills, real on a college basketball tip. Mike is our college basketball correspondent. What are they doing? I haven't heard no rumors about college basketball, men or women.
Nah, I heard around late November in the 20s. I heard 25th.
They doing a bubble. They going in the arenas with no people in there. What are they
believe most teams I'm hearing is no arenas. A lot of they're going into the arena with no fans. Okay. A lot of teams, they were looking at bubbles for conference play, but I heard the bubble idea got squashed. So we gonna see the tough part right now is they're trying to figure out how to get as many non-conference games and as many, you know, these small schools need these pay games, keep the library full of books, you know, so they're trying to figure out how to get as many games and how to keep it competitive. So, you know, that small guys can make the tournament at the end of the year. So we'll see. I mean, look at college basketball. They scrapped the whole NCAA tournament. Don't they think that's worth millions of dollars? Right. The NBA could have canceled the rest of the season if they wanted to. They got it.
So, question. So, when does free agency start?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that is happening pretty soon. I don't know if there's a date for it, but because since the free agency is not a big how you say it, a big to do with the free agents this year because there's nobody really there. So it's going to be more of what's going to be the biggest trade this year. So that's what we probably will be focusing on is the trade deals because there's not too many good targeted free agents out there. That's the word.
You're cutting it too close.
Yeah. I personally cutting it real close. We'll talk about the next few minutes. Major League Baseball, Tampa Bay is up 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth. This is game 6. The Dodgers are up 3-2. Some of the notables that's been Kershaw, Clayton Kershaw, he's been on. Who else? Cody Bellinger. The other night, he just flicked his wrist. He's been on. And don't cheat the Tampa Bay Rays. They've been.
Yeah, Blake Snell was smoking that game too.
Yep.
Is who's pitching tonight? I don't have it in front of me.
Snell is pitching.
Okay.
Yes, Snell is pitching as we speak, and it's 1-0 Tampa Bay in the fourth. And he just struck out Bellinger. But this is a really good World Series. I know we said from the beginning, is this going to count all these things and what we think. I'm just appreciated to see good baseball, and baseball is ending before November. Really, really, really good, man. And the Tampa Bay got a lot of young teams and a lot of youth on their team, and they continue to do it with their general manager just making nothing out of nothing. Go ahead.
And they continue to do it homegrown. A lot of these guys is coming right out of Durham, North Carolina, where they play for the Durham Bulls, their AAA affiliate. And you know, they do it the right way. They don't have a big budget. Okay, well, we going to actually get players and develop them and bring them up. So shout out, yo, man, Tampa Bay. I will say they proved me wrong, because when what's my man name? When the coach left, the manager left to go to the Cubs.
Right.
Joe Madden. I really thought that Tampa Bay was on its way down, but shout out that whole organization, man. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. I just wish they can get a better ballpark plan.
Just move out of Tampa, bro. Just say it the way you want it to, Kev. Move out of Tampa. Ain't nobody coming in. See, you're gonna get me stuck. Yo, man, you do not. People of Tampa, okay? You could at me whatever you want. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Okay. Please tell me why you deserve a professional baseball team down there. When they was going to the World Series a couple of years ago. Well, not a couple of years ago, but a few years ago. Where was y'all at?
Against the Phillies.
You know what I'm saying? Where was you at? You don't deserve this team, man. Let them move somewhere else, man. Man, I'm sorry.
I say moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, man.
Hey.
No.
Mikey, why not? You don't think Charlotte can support Major League Baseball?
We ain't got enough space.
Got plenty of space.
We ain't got enough space.
Dog.
Get them cows out of South Carolina. Oh, never mind. Nah.
What they gonna listen? More stadiums, more sports, more gentrification means higher rent. No, thank you. Tell them stay where they at.
You a baller though.
They already, yeah, all right. They already snuck the Knights in the middle of Uptown. That was real gangster. Shout out to the white man. That was real gangster. Snuck them right in the middle of Uptown. Where they gonna put the baseball stadium? They gonna put a bigger one at. No,
put them in South Carolina. Do what they do.
Put them in Rocky Mount. Put them with you. You got have.
Well, when the White Sox and Philly wanted to move them from Fort Mill to Uptown Charlotte, they were saying that they was supposed to build that stadium right there on I forgot, was it not Mint Street? But yeah, it's Mint Street. They were supposed to build it to Major League specifications, and of course they didn't, because that's what Charlotte does. And so, but I think Charlotte can absolutely handle 81 home dates of MLB. Being the same,
sure, man.
Yankees and the Red Sox, the Orioles, and things of that nature. But yeah, Mikey says if you do, you're gonna bring a whole lot of other high rent,
whole lot of other gentrification, high rent.
It's already
Uptown already ain't even.
Mikey, it's already done.
Uptown, not even Uptown no more.
No,
so you gonna go ahead and put a baseball team down there and make it worse?
It's not Uptown no more because of COVID. So I mean, sure.
It ain't Uptown no more because of before COVID. Because you know what? I told y'all I wasn't gonna talk about the white man and his affairs on the podcast. So
all right,
look, just keep them where they at.
Other places Tampa Bay can move. They talking about Portland.
Put them in Orlando.
Nah, I don't think they have enough people to support. No, because they will be in Tampa. It'll be the same thing. Tampa is about 2 hours away from Orlando.
Orlando got Disney World. It's more space. They can get more money in Disney.
If Raleigh had space, I would say move them to Raleigh, because I think that this market will support it, but they ain't got no space for them.
They ain't got no option about what's that PNC Arena out there where
man,
the Hurricanes play?
Dog, let me tell you. For anybody that knows I-40, I call it the infamous I-40, and you get right off where it forks off at with I-40 and I-440. Bruh, anytime that there's the Hurricanes playing at PNC, it is stop traffic. So putting a baseball team bro, you gonna have to open up a whole nother interstate just for that traffic flow, man.
You know what? They could put them here. Put them on Independence. Get rid of that Bojangles, whatever that is, and put them there. There you go.
He said get rid of the Bojangles.
What is it? The Bojangles Arena? No, not the Bojangles. Bojangles Coliseum. You can get rid of that and all the little.
First of all,
all that stuff over there.
They was wrong for calling a Coliseum Bojangles.
Yeah,
they definitely was wrong. But that's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes from Uptown. That's right there. You close enough to Uptown where you can get back and forth. They can put the little transit right there.
It's too crowded over there, dog. They can't handle it right there.
They was gonna put them Uptown, right? See, no, we don't need them. No space.
Nah.
Man. Well, who think y'all think the Dodgers gonna close out tonight? Before we get off here, it'll go 7.
They gotta get their money.
I
They
said
going 7.
I think it's gonna go 7. So
I mean, why not, man? We're being thoroughly entertained for all the baseball enthusiasts out there, man. Why not?
I agree. Might go 7. Snell is pitching really good.
Snell just can't. He can't slip up though, man. Can't
Nope.
slip up.
Can't slip up. Mike Mills, where can we be found at, sir?
We could be found on Twitter at Chasers Sports. We could be found on Instagram at Sports Chasers Podcast. We can be found on SoundCloud at Sports Chasers Podcast Inc. or Incorporated for you fancy folks out there. And we can be found on YouTube at Sports Chasers Podcast.
yeah.
Thank you, Mike Mills, for letting us know where we can be found. I know I keep saying Apple and Spotify, but I'm working out the kinks for that to come to fruition. So you'll be able to
Soon come.
on Apple and Spotify where you can see us. Party shots, we start off with D-Dub. Party shots, sir.
Yo, nothing serious, man. Everything is good. Enjoy the podcast tonight, man. My man Gene. Hopefully you get him on again. Thanking him for going through the intricacies of a pro athlete, trying to stay pro, trying to be pro, trying to there's a lot to it. So hopefully if any young kids are listening, they could pick up some jewels from what he said.
Absolutely. Eric.
Great podcast tonight, fellas, as always. Shout out to our guest, Gene, man. He really dropped some jewels, like D said. Hopefully you young ballers out there, high schoolers, you in college, man. Yo, man, talent does not get you there alone, man. You got to have that work ethic. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that grit. And when you do get there, use them resources like my man said, man. Use them. They're there for you. Use them. And that's it, man. Everybody be safe. Everybody, be clean and all that other stuff. And shout out Rack Runners.
Shout out to Rack Runners.
Rack Runners workout gear, at Rack Runners on rackrunners.net, excuse me. You go ahead and get all that gear, man. You got it all for your shorts, shirts, all that stuff, man. Check them out, man. Family.
Mike Mills, what you got for us tonight, brother?
Nothing too deep. We went around the world today. But shout out to Gene for coming through. We appreciate that comeback. Shout out to Bethune-Cookman. Shout out to the HBCUs. Not often do we get to talk about HBCUs or small schools. So shout out to them.
Hold on, Mike, real quick. Deion Sanders, real quick, 2 seconds.
We definitely should have asked him about Deion. That was in the back of my head.
Your mic is muted. I'm sorry.
$5.
Daryl, your mic is muted. Daryl.
Yeah, I got you. Yo, I said we needed to ask about the violations. What's going on down there, man? I'm like, dude, you just got to the seat, and then you got violations all over the place. It wasn't for him per se, Deion Sanders. It was from the previous administration there.
Right.
You can't. It's always something, man. It's always something, man. You can't. As soon as you take a couple steps, man, somebody's pulling the rug from underneath you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so shout out to Deion, man. Hopefully, that's it's another obstacle right now, just to get right. Just so you came at now, you all that stuff that you're thinking that you're gonna get recruits. So watch right now. You can't get nothing right now.
Right. Mike, I'm sorry for interrupting, but go ahead, brother. Keep on.
Oh, that? Shout out HBCUs. Shout out Bethune-Cookman. Shout out to the Arena Football League. It's interesting talking about them tonight. And the last shout out I want to give out is to my bro Marcus. Happy birthday. He's on Instagram at Tally Red. If you're in the Charlotte area, you need any photos, any film, any photography work, anything, holla at my boy. Happy birthday once again.
Happy birthday, man.
Birthday, Marcus, my man.
Yeah.
Birthday, man. My party shot is simply really, really great show, man. This is one of the reasons why we do what we do. We're unlike nobody else, where we just do things differently, man. And we ain't for it. When we say we ain't for the hot takes and for the nonsense, we really not, man. We would like to dive into the intricacies of how things are done and why they're done and how come they're done. And that was one of the reasons why we brought my man Jean Fanor on, who played professional ball with the Chiefs and the in the Packers, and he played in the AFL and the Arena Football League, and really dropping some gems on what it takes to get there. And even for him, man, he said, he just got tired of the grind, man. And he's like, I gotta try to move.
It's a grind to try to just, keep yourself up. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I will be forever in his debt for coming through and just hollering at us, and hopefully we can get him back on, and he can stay a little bit longer and talk to us, man. That's what we're looking for, man. And this is a real deal podcast, man. And I'm so grateful that we're doing this. And my thing is, I just continue to be safe. Presidential election will be next week. Also, your municipalities, things of that nature. If you didn't vote, please go vote. Go vote. Go vote. Not only about the presidential election, it's your local municipality that set a lot of policy.
That's where it start out at, people. Listen to that man. That's
where it starts at, man. And this is not a political show, and we don't really preach it. I'm not here to endorse anybody. I'm just here to talk about sports. But I don't want to hear nothing from anybody. When I just ask them, I got a problem in this, did you vote? Well, I'm not registered. I don't want to hear you. I want you to get away from me.
No excuses.
They make it so you get your driver's license. You can vote online. Rock the Vote with Diddy and whoever. Go vote. It's important. Being as a black person, black man, we just been able to vote within the last 50 years, man. So I'm grateful for that. And that's all I got, man.
Go vote. They give you a nice little pen that say you voted. Go get you a pen. Don't you want a pen? Everybody needs a pen.
Go get you a pen, please.
Rice like butter. Go get you a pen.
Man, so listen, on behalf of myself, I'm Kevin Warren, the host and moderator. As we start the music, on behalf of myself, this is KL Warren, the host and moderator. Mike Mills, James the Angry One, Warren, Harold D. Dubs, Warren. And DA had to take a phone call, and I guess he had to fly to Mumbai or wherever he had to fly to.
Dubai. Yeah,
Dubai, wherever he is at. Hey, shout out to DA, man. He had to run. But this is a Sports Chasers podcast, man. Thanks for tuning in, man. Hey, holler at us next week. Will we do it again? Do it
magazine founder.
What'd you say, E?
I didn't say a word.
Oh, so you said something. Anyway, this is the Sports Chasers podcast, man. We out. Y'all be blessed. See y'all next week.